Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus Benjamin, and I'm the CEO of A&M Career Consulting, and I'm so pleased to introduce a very special person. All right. Her name is Paula Jeaneen, and she is a recording gospel singer, and she just released her first album, and it's such a pleasure. It is such a pleasure to be in this moment with her. Jeaneen, say hello to the viewers.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Marcus. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I really appreciate you taking the time to come spend a few moments with us and, discuss with us a little bit about career identification. So this whole call is about career identification and to get an understanding of when did you realize music is something that you wanted to pursue, when you realize that would be a career choice, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And also at the end, you definitely want to highlight the support system, right? I know everyone sees you, but there is a lot of other players in the back,
Yes.
and I would love for you to stress a little bit about that when we get to the end of the interview.
Okay, sounds great. Let's do this.
All right. Awesome, awesome. Well, guys, let's go. We have a very special lady. All right. She just dropped her first album, and we will have some information where you can locate her information, where you can purchase. She'll be able to share it a bit with you, and then under this video, we will provide all the information, including the links that you can click, and you can go right to the store or whatever means of purchasing her album. All right. And Jeaneen, can you share with us the name of this album?
Well, the name of my CD is entitled Life Pages, and we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, later on in the interview. But here's just a little glimpse and a preview for all of you.
Beautiful. Life Pages, Volume 1. So that means there is more to come.
There is absolutely more to come, Marcus. More to come. I'm so excited. I'm so elated.
Yes. Well, guys, Paula, I know Paula for just about 10 years.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And, she is an awesome person, great person to be around. She's an inspiration. All right. And I had an opportunity to listen to her music. And I must tell you, viewers, it is awesome, right? Strong message in gospel. And I'm really, you could hear it from her heart. The music's dear to her heart. She'll tell us a little bit about it. So without further ado, Miss Paula. So just if you could share with the viewers, career identification. When did you realize that music is something that you wanted to get involved with?
Marcus, I'm going to answer that question, but I just want to tail in off of something that you said. And you said that, you and I have been friends now almost 10 years. Our lives intersected, in New York City, one of the biggest, busiest cities that there is. But I just want to speak right now to all of our listeners about relationship and what I strongly believe in divine connections. A lot of times we don't understand why people are brought into our life, but I really want to encourage, don't easily discard people. People, I don't believe, are disposable in our life. I believe that God puts everyone in our life, and they're our teachers. They become our cheerleaders. They either teach us what to do or what not to do. And I think this society and social media sometimes can cause us to easily block someone or delete them. But in real life, I really strongly believe that people are put into our lives for purposes and for set times. And when we really regard that as something that's valuable and priceless, we never know what will happen down the road. Little did you and I know that 10 years ago, how our lives would be woven into a beautiful tapestry of friendship and how our lives would be used. So I just want to encourage people. But back to the question that you said, you asked me, when did this vision conceptualize? And I would have to say, I think a lot of us are born with purpose and a calling. I believe that there's something special, a gift that God puts in each one of us. I told someone the other day, I said, every day is like waking up to a gift with a big red bow that God presents to you. And it's either going to be full of expected or unexpected blessings, but it's up to you to make the best of that day, of that gift, no different than someone hands you a gift. And so I had a love at an early age for music. I'd have to say again, you know, it's one of those things that grew through my bloodline. You know, my grandmother was a singer and a pianist. My father was actually in the movies and an actor, loved jazz music. My mother, a singer and a songwriter. So it was definitely part of my upbringing. But there was something on the inside of me that was like, I'm supposed to do this. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't have the education to do it or the training, but it was just something that wouldn't let go of me, that kept pushing me toward this music. And when you feel that push, I want to encourage you, don't let it go. It's there for a reason.
Right. Wow. That's awesome. So your mom and your dad, both in music. Yes. So I guess you're the true definition that the apples don't fall far from the tree.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, and I'm just real happy that, you know, that you choose this type of music. I mean, there are so many different variations, different type, different genre, you name it. But what made you choose to get involved with gospel music apart from any other type of music that is out there?
You know, when you have been given a gift, a calling, a purpose, something that you know that you are supposed to do to enhance your career, further your career, I believe that you have a decision to make, and you can decide to use that gift for good or for bad. And I just made a decision in my life that people needed hope. And I was once that person, and I still am. You know, we see so much in the news. You know, you can turn any news channel on, and there's things that just break your heart, whether it's devastation, whether it's, you know, loss of life, or, you know, the political system, just all of those things a lot of times can come to damper our hope. And I wanted to use my voice to bring hope. I wanted to use my voice to encourage people, because that's what happened to me. You know, I don't have that sweet little fairy tale story of, you know, Cinderella meeting her Prince Charming and living happily ever after. That is not my story. I didn't get the picket fence with the, with the 2 kids and the 1 dog. You know, life didn't deal with the deck of cards that I wanted, but I found hope in the people that encourage me, you know. And I want to say, I want to give that credit back to God. I know it was God that put people like you and other people in my life. And so with that message of hope, I wanted to share it with my voice.
Awesome. I know many of us, we do have various platforms in which we can use, you know, to have an impact. There are so many people who have been using that platform, whatever platform in their respective field, they have been using that platform, you know, really, really well to have an impact in people's lives, you know. And it's just amazing, you know, how you can utilize your platform, your voice, your message, right, and reflect back on your past, right, and have so many stories that you can bring forth and give hope and inspire, you know, some young man or some young woman, somebody who's hurting, you know, someone who probably going through a tough time, you know, probably lost hope, right? Especially with everything that's going on here in the United States of America and the world abroad. So, I mean, so I must say, with you recognizing that you have a platform to speak and a platform that you can impact and influence, I am so glad that you are being responsible with that. Right? I mean, so many people have gifts and they don't use that platform, you know, to impact other people's lives. And what comes to mind with that for you?
Well, you know what? In this day and age, I think a lot of people fear. I'm not sure what it is, but in our human nature, you can ask someone how they're doing, and if they start talking about, all the negativity and their aches and pains, it's kind of like it's acceptable. But when you run across someone and they start talking about all the good stuff in their life, you're like, well, what's wrong with you? Well, why are you different? And it shouldn't be. I actually think it should be the reverse. I feel like we are so blessed, but I actually feel like a lot of times when people have something good, they maybe struggle with fear, they maybe struggle with rejection of their message and what they have to share. But I want to encourage you, people need hope, and when I tell my story about being that person without hope, I want to make it plain. I had gone through one of the darkest, deepest valleys in my life. I mean, Marcus, when I say I lost it all, I lost it all. I mean, I was a college educated woman. I lost my marriage. I lost my mind. Almost. I lost my money. I lost our home. My credit went down the drain, around the sewer. I mean, literally, it was probably maybe I was reinventing myself when I met you. I was on a brand new trajectory of just beginning again. And I love that phrase because a lot of times, life may not go the course that you want. And we may often find ourselves in life beginning again. But let me tell you, there is hope on that path. And sometimes it's good to get all that old stuff off and start new. And that's where I was when I met you. So, I just want to encourage people, if you have a message of hope, if you have a message of love, if you have a message of encouragement, I think that's what we're supposed to do as humans. Encourage one another, love one another, give hope, because that's what makes us human. That's what makes us God's creatures. And that's the beauty of who we are.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's so true. It is so true. And, for you, again, when we met 10 years ago, I had no idea. I mean, this is all new, and the viewers, you all are learning as I'm learning, right? But, and I believe, right? I believe that when you're calling, we all have a calling. We all have a purpose here on earth. And there are some things that we have to go through.
Yes.
And there are some things that we need to go through in order to prepare us for that big moment.
Yes.
So I'm going to let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe that what you went through and with the loss of your marriage, money, you mentioned your mind and everything else that comes with it. If you didn't go through that, you won't be sitting here having a story to tell.
Oh my gosh, no. I wouldn't even be sitting here at all. For those of you that are gifted, and some people may be watching this interview right now and they go, well, I'm never supposed to be in the limelight. And, I'm not one of those people out in the forefront. You don't have to be in the forefront to be gifted. You could maybe have a design. You can have an invention. You could just be the support of someone else that is great. I even think of Beyonce. Yes, we know her parents, but her mother made, and customized, what she wore in her wardrobe for years before people even knew who Tina Knowles was. Her parents took her to voice lessons and auditions and all of those things. And I'm just using that as an example. But a lot of times your gift may just be support. You may just be an encourager. But let me tell you, it is still your gift and your purpose. But, for your question, you are absolutely right. I had to go through the darkness in order to come out into the light. And the person that I was then, it is not the person I am today. That process for me taught me forgiveness. It taught me compassion. It taught me love. It taught me to not be afraid to love again. It gave me a heart for humanity like none other. And I just want to stop there, and I want to encourage people. If you're going through something that seems really painful, you're supposed to do something great, or you feel like you're supposed to write a book, or you're supposed to do music, or you're supposed to be a professor at a school, or whatever it is that you feel like this is the place where I'm supposed to be shifting and going into my new career path, and you're going through something that looks completely opposite, Ride that roller coaster of life and trust the process. Trust that there's a big God out there. He loves you and he's got something good at the end of that. And for me, it was, I have to say, sitting here today, and, I'm sitting here, we have a lovely home now, and I just want to say, I have been restored in every way possible. But I believe my first step was to step out and forgive those that hurt me, forgive myself maybe for decisions that I made, learning to let go, learning to not stay in that rejection or that disappointment. Sometimes maybe you had a dream, maybe you opened up a bakery and maybe, the business all folded over. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to try again. And that's what I want to say, forgiving and not afraid to step out in faith and try again. You've got to do that because that is the catalyst that just pushed me forward and propelled me to do this project. Oh my gosh, guys, until you get whatever it is that you feel that you're supposed to do in your hand, don't stop. I just want to say, do not stop until you see the fullness and the complete product of what it is you're supposed to do.
Oh, wow, awesome. Thank you. That's powerful right there, right? And since you're holding up the CD, I must ask you, right? Can you hold it up to the screen? Wow, beautiful. Wow. Well put together. Well put together.
And and I want to say this real quick because I think somebody may need to hear it. In order to pursue your dream, in order to complete those tasks, it takes sacrifice, it takes time, it's going to take money, and it's going to take resources. And sometimes it can seem bigger than what you've ever imagined. But sometimes you have those resources right in your hand. So, quick story, I'd set up some time with a makeup artist and a photographer to work on the photos for my cover. 2 times they canceled, the appointment conflicts. And one day I was just sitting there and I gave myself a deadline to get this project done. And I said, well, what are you going to do? And I just heard this little voice say, well, everybody takes selfies. Go take your own selfies. And I'm just going to tell you, this CD cover, every picture, I took it myself. I put my nice little camera on a tripod and I got the lights right. And I was my own makeup artist. I was doing my makeup way before an artist came along. So you don't have to let those things stop you. You may have to make sacrifices. You may have to pack your lunch for a year in order to put the money up for your resources. You may not be able to go out to eat and go shop and buy those favorite pair of shoes, but you may have to do that. I drove 45 minutes every day for studio time. I readjusted my work schedule and I had to make some readjustments, here at home and in family life, with my new husband and our kids. But I'm just saying, things that are worth something may cost you everything, but it is worth the price.
So true. So true. So a big question for you, right? So I listened to the sounds and I was really inspired. But the $1 million question, of all the sounds on that CD, right? And I know all of them are dear to your heart. Which one really, really is dearer to your heart, if I can put it that way?
Oh my goodness, you're right. All of those are so dear to my heart. So there's one song, and it's track number 6 when you get the CD, and it is absolutely most dear to my heart because it is entitled Your Presence, and it has a twofold meaning to me. When I talked earlier in our interview about going through a really, really bad divorce, I was devastated. I felt betrayed. I felt rejected. I felt abandoned. Just so many emotions that you go through when you encounter a loss. You can have the same emotions if your spouse dies or your partner or significant other. But I was just overcome. And I heard this scripture that said, bless those that persecute you and say and do all manner of evil against you. And I heard one day that they said, take this challenge and pray for the people that hurt you. Now, let me tell you what, that is not an easy task to do. That's big girl and big boy stuff. You know, that's not Pampers and Pulses. So that's a big girl and big boy pants that you have to wear. But I took that challenge, and every morning I would get up before, you know, my day started, before I would get anybody up in the house, you know, and I prayed for my ex-husband. I prayed for the people involved in the situation, you know, and I just prayed for myself that I would be able to walk in forgiveness. And during that time, you know, with the time of loss, everything that I had lost, I realized really didn't matter as long as I still had God. Because I learned as long as I had God, I could start again. You know, as long as I had hope, I could start again. You know, as long as I saw another new day, it was an opportunity for me to begin fresh and begin again, as I talked about earlier. So that song is so precious to me. But in the process of recording my CD, I had begun to work on that song with my producer. And my producer was on a heart transplant donor list. And we had known from the beginning that it was a possibility that he could get a call any day. And this was one of the last songs that we had ever had an opportunity to do. And we were just kind of holding off on it. During that time frame, he got a call. I mean, literally like the day that we're going into the studio, he gets a phone call to say,
wow.
I mean, he called me at 2:00 in the morning. I mean, we cried. Like we were so happy. By the same token, you know, like I was like, what's going to happen to my project? You know, you're going to be in the hospital. And I knew it was going to require him a lot of rehabilitation. But either way, you know, it was even one of those moments where I felt like my dream is about to die, you know, and I'll never forget waking up that morning feeling so devastated. And my dear husband held me in his arms, let me cry, and just encouraged me in a way that was phenomenal and gave me the strength. But that morning, I remember praying and asking God's presence to be with my musician. So that song, Your Presence, it's my favorite by far. It's one of those intimate love songs when you just need that time alone with God. Need your heart to be encouraged. That's my favorite. Long answer, but it's my favorite, Marcus.
Wow. Well, are you able to share that song with us today? So at least the viewers can hear it, get a little sneak peek in.
Well, let's try to give them a little bitty sneak peek. Here we
All right,
go.
everyone, she's preparing. I want to hear this one. I heard it before, but I, want to hear it again.
My soul, your presence makes me complete. How I need your presence, Lord. Nothing like your sweet presence heals my heart. I need your presence, Lord. Searched all over, but it's only your presence.
We don't want to give them too much. We want to make sure they go and get that seat. That's a little tease. So viewers, you got to go get it. But Paula, can you tell the viewers where they can go get the CD, where they can purchase your music?
Absolutely. Everyone, first of all, you can always go to my website, and that is paulajeaneen.com. And there on my website, there are links to all of my social media pages. But, thank God for the internet today. Back in the day when you and I were kids, everybody had to go to the store to go get music. But nowadays, right there, in your hand, in any personal electronic device item that you have, you can just Google. So you can find me at paulajeaneen.com. My music is available on Spotify. If you have the Spotify app, it's free. Download that Spotify app. I'm on Spotify. Everybody knows how to get to YouTube. So on YouTube, you can listen to any of my songs there on YouTube. I'm also available from the Apple Store, so you can put me in your iTunes playlist or even your Amazon Music playlist. And there's also CD Baby. So there's a host of opportunities for you to get my music. And I want to encourage you, go out there and get it and get it, get it, get it. And let me tell you what, I just need to say this. Sometimes people may listen to an interview like today and they may go, well, great story, but I'm not really into gospel or inspirational music. That's not my thing. That's fine. It may not be your thing. But guess what is your thing? Your vision, your purpose, your career development, whatever it is that you feel like you're supposed to do, that is your thing. And I have learned sometimes it is good to go sow seed into someone else's life. You know, I have built houses. I have worked at food pantries. I've worked at clothing boutiques. You know, I have fed the hungry. There are things that I have done to donate my time, my energy, and my gift to other people's vision because I knew I had my own vision and something I wanted to do. And there is a real powerful gift in planting a seed. And sometimes it's not just like, I like what they do. It's just the fact that I want to encourage and use my resources to help someone else's vision soar, because one day I'm going to want someone to do this. So today, if you're listening to this and you have your own vision, you have something that you're like, you know, thank you, Paula. Thanks, Marcus, for this. I needed to hear this. There is some things that you know, there's this invention that I've just been afraid to do, but I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make the sacrifice to make it happen. You know, I'm supposed to have a cake shop, or, you know, I'm supposed to have a wedding shop, whatever it is. I'm supposed to start a photography business, write a book, just whatever it is that you feel. You know, maybe you're supposed to go back and get your MBA, whatever it is. We just want to encourage you. Sometimes plant seed in someone else's life. So today, go out there, Google Paula Jeaneen, plant that seed in my life, because I really believe that good will come back to you.
Yeah, amen. Amen, sister. And to all the viewers, right below this video, all the links for Paula to purchase her CD and the link to her website, you know, just a click away. All right, so I encourage you all to please go ahead and support her, support her music, support her purpose. Right, and I'm here supporting her by conducting her first interview. Believe this, right? Her first interview since dropping that CD. So I am honored.
I'm honored.
I am honored. So, you know, one of the things that we focus on is the main person, right? Just as in, if you look at sports, any key player on a specific sports team or whatever it is, right? We always look at those individuals, and we don't have a clue sometimes the people who are in the background that helps and push and carry this individual that we normally see and we enjoy. So, you know, people may see you and they see, you know, they'll see this interview, and I know you shared a little bit about your history and so forth, you know, but they see you, but they don't fully understand the level of support that someone that's close to you, and that could be a husband, wife, that could be a partner, that can be your mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, whatever the deal is, but you normally have someone that pushes you and uplifts you and encourages you. When you don't want to do it, someone tell you, you better get up and do it. All right? Things don't get done by themselves. Right? So I know you mentioned your husband. Can you share just a little bit of how instrumental your husband has been in your success this far and pretty much producing this CD and this album? How instrumental is he?
You know, I wish he was here, so I just, you know, hey, hubby. There he is. Hey.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You know, he's the behind the scenes kind of guy, but I would have to say, you know, when I talked earlier about really walking in forgiveness, I think that's so important, whether it was, in your childhood, maybe someone dropped you along the way, maybe someone hurt you. But I really sought to have forgiveness in my heart, which opened my heart again to love. And, 8 years ago, I met this wonderful man, and little did I know he would probably be one of my biggest supporters and fans. He allows me to work my job, which often takes me away from the home life, and he allowed me to do this project. And when I say that is, it is so important for you to recognize the people that are in your corner. They may not be loud, they may not be that vocal, but they just may be that silent strength that you need. And that's exactly what he came along my side to do. Sometimes in life you may feel this time where you feel like, okay, yeah, I should do this project, or I should go and develop this career aspect in my life. And then there's other times it's kind of like this repeat, like every time you turn around, it's just like, you're seeing it on a billboard, or you're seeing it on TV, or you see it on the internet, and this kind of like, and then there's other times in life where it's like, go do it now, like don't hesitate. And at the time that I began to do my CD, it was one of those times. And I went to my husband and I said, I feel like I'm supposed to do this. And he said, if you feel like you're supposed to do it, then go do it. He never once, it caused me to have to juggle some things again in our home life, but I made sure, whatever, if you're the cook, I'm the cook in my house, be it male or female, but I made sure he had some good meals, because that definitely helped along the way. But I really did try to keep my home life balanced, for my husband and our kids, and together, we've got 5 beautiful children, and just balancing work, husband, children, their activities. But again, we talked about it. Doing something great will cost you everything, but it is so worth it in the end. And this man was my ultimate support. When I talked to you about that morning that he just held me and just let me cry. And I think part of it was just exhaustion. I had just done so much, and I felt like I was just giving out all the time and trying to get this project completed. I was just really emotionally drained and exhausted, but he was just there to encourage me. And he was like, do this. You're a little bit emotional this morning, but you got this. He was like, you haven't started and come this far to give up. Don't give up now. And whoever's listening, I want to say to you, or if you're watching this, don't give up. Whether you're married, whether you're not married, whether you're single, whether you're old, whether you're young, trust me, God has put someone in your life that is your cheerleader. And trust me, they're there for a purpose, and they're there to encourage you. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your career development. Don't give up on your education, whether you're getting that, that master's degree or that PhD. Do not give up. It's going to be worth it in the end. It really is.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's just awesome. I know I met your husband I think about a year or 2 ago, and he's a great guy. And they always say behind, there's a saying, behind every great man is a great woman, right? Mm-hmm. And I always believe it's on the flip side also. It has to be on both sides, because, when you go out, you represent him. Yeah. When he goes out, he represents you. So it's a representation of each other, and what you guys are doing, and the relationship that you and your husband has is a representation of God and his purpose, right? Raising 5 beautiful kids. I met them, full of energy, just like their mama. But it's awesome, all right? And it's just a pleasure. It's just a pleasure, and I really, really hope that the viewers out there, in listening to this video, I hope you are inspired. All right, I encourage you to go get the CD. If you can hold that CD up one more time, all right, let's see that CD. All right, everyone, there it is. Life Pages, Volume 1. So Volume 1, when she lists Volume 1, there's many more to come. All right, and when she drops Volume 2, we're gonna have her back here. All right, or any other music she's doing. All right. I know she has some big plan to do some cross,
Yes.
with some other different artists and so forth. But we'll definitely make sure and we bring it to you.
And Marcus, I want to say this real quick because, we talked about that support system. And I don't know, there may be someone that's watching this and they kind of may be vacillating, teeter-tottering, because they may be surrounded by what we call, haters, or they're not celebrators. They may be in a relationship with someone that's, struggles with jealousy, or wants to keep them down and is not giving them the freedom to soar and to fly. And I just want to say to you, if you're in that kind of relationship, or you have that kind of friendship, or if you're in a circle of people that are not allowing you to do what you have been called to do, that you've been purposed to do, that you're gifted to do, run from that. Run, Forrest, run. And trust me that there will be people. When I walked through that dark season in my life, I had no idea what was waiting at the other end. But there was a new relationship waiting for me. There were new cheerleaders. My husband, I love him. He is not my number one cheerleader. But, I have some great girlfriends. I've got some great male friends. They've also cheered me along. So I just want to encourage you. Find your cheerleaders, find your encouragers, and stay connected to them. And anybody else, it's time to let it go. Just let those
That's
people
true.
go.
They say, a load is heavy,
Yes.
right? And when you have dead weight, it's even heavier. So you got to shake them off, all right? And if people are not in your life to be a positive influence on you, or you on them, then if that's not happening, then you may want to focus on people who have your best interest, right? But that's just a lesson that we all should take heed to. We do have individuals in our lives, and but one of the things I must say, we do have destiny helpers that do come out along our way, and that destiny helper could come in a friend, it could come in a husband, it could come in a mother, a brother, a distant cousin. It could come in so many different forms. Destiny helpers, right? Those are the individuals that help us to get over the hump. That your producer, huge destiny helper, right? We may never understand. We may never understand, even as much as we try, we may not and we will not understand why things happen. But one thing that we have to acknowledge, that everything that's done it has to be for the glorification of the big man upstairs.
Yes.
Right? And we all have a purpose here on earth. And some of us, when we do fulfill that purpose, we have to go back to where we came from. And that's what it is. And, in our human and in our flesh self, we want to hold on to those individuals forever, because we want them to be here forever. We want to be here forever. But we are not forever in this shell that we are in. Right? This is temporary.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because what the listeners don't know, but they're about to find out right now, is, I shared earlier about sometimes you just feel that go get that done, go fulfill your destiny. And my producer and I had been dabbling and working on this CD for 6-8 years, just not real consistent in it, but just inconsistent in it. And some of you know what I'm talking about. You've been writing your book for the last 10 years and you still don't have it completed. So that's where I was. But that push that I felt at that season in my life, little did I know, coming up October of this year, it will be in memory of his loss. He passed away last year, October, and it grieved me so deeply. But let me tell you what my greatest joy in the midst of my grief was. That we finished it, and he was, as you said, my destiny helper. He helped me. And Everything in this life has an expiration date on it. We just don't get the sneak preview of when that expiration date. And I am so happy and so thankful to God. And so even this CD, you guys, if you're listening, go out there, you know, every time you download this CD, every time you listen to it, put it on your playlist, you know, that's going to support he's got a wife and 2 lovely children, you know, that's resources back to them. So even this CD, I dedicate this in his memory, in his honor. I thank him for believing in me. You know, he's in heaven with the angels right now, and I'm still down here on earth. But Marcus, you were so right. We don't know, you know, when our time is going to be up. And the last thing I ever want to do when I get to heaven is stand there before God, and he was like, but you were supposed to do this, and this. I gave you all these talents, and you didn't do anything. So get out there, people. You know, change your career, enhance your career, build your career. You know, do that gift, but just do it. Don't delay any further.
Well said, well said. And if you are having problems with your career identification, you know, you could definitely give us a call. The name of the company, A&M Career Consulting. You can reach us at 347-248-5727. You can also send us an email at careerteam@amcareerconsulting.com. And my website is www.amcareerconsulting.com. Jeaneen, hold up that CD one last time before we break away. Let the viewers see it. Live Pages, Volume 1. Go get it, everyone. Go get it. It is there. All right. I hope you enjoy the music. I hope you all appreciate this interview. All right. Because I appreciate it. All right. Just being in Paula's presence. Right. And her taking time from her busy schedule, her busy day, you know, to come and speak to all of us and to share her story. Right. And to take her story and put it into music, that it can touch someone, it can be inspirational. It's just marvelous. And I am honored. I am so honored that we have been friends for 10 years. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Right? So as you mentioned in our interview, relationships are key. You never know who the big man upstairs puts in your life. You never know. All right? We never thought 10 years ago that we would have been sitting here doing this. I didn't even think I would have been doing this today.
Right?
I didn't even think that you would have been, you know, sitting here doing your first interview and getting the word out there and, you know, being a huge inspiration to everybody, right? So I think what we have to do is really, really kind of settle down as human beings and identify what our purpose is and what actions we need to take. And sometimes you do need help. You do need those destiny helpers as they come along. You need to identify them, right? And you need to make sure that you utilize their time because their time is short with you, right? A short story. There are so many people who have been so instrumental in my life, right? So many destiny helpers. They were in my life. They interjected into my life for a short period of time and they moved on. Some of them, I tried to make contact with them, and I can't because it probably wasn't meant to be a long-term relationship. It was supposed to be just that short period of time where they had to interject into my life, right, to fulfill a certain aspect of it, to have me sitting here today. Yes. So for all my destiny helpers, right, that I'm unable to connect with for whatever reason, I just want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's because of you, right, that I am here today. And I think you can say the same thing, Paula, for all those destiny helpers, you know, including your producer, your husband, you know, all the different friends over the lifetime, right? Even the bad experiences you had in your previous marriage and so forth, that's a destiny helper. That person had to break you down. Right, that person fulfilled
right to the place that I'm at today. You're absolutely right. They did. You know, I've learned everything works together for our good. Everything.
Yep. So what others mean to harm,
God meant it for good.
Amen. Well, everyone, thank you. Thank you, thank you. We have come to the end of this interview, and it's just an honor. Again, Paula, thank you. I really appreciate you, and I encourage everyone again. I know we've been saying it over and over, and I'm going to say it again. Go get that CD, Life Pages Volume 1. Listen to it, enjoy it, share it. Support Paula, support her producer who passed away. He does have, a family that's left behind, and Paula is committed to ensure that all proceeds and that comes into her, that his family are able to share in it also. All right, share the music, share this YouTube video. All right, make sure you subscribe. There's way more to come. I just got started. All right, so you don't want to be left out. And Paula just got started too. All right. And Paula, I just want to welcome you. I just want to, extend a future invitation for you to come back and have an interview with me again, and to share, your progress as you move forward in your career. All right. I mean, great career identification. Thank you for identifying your gift. Thank you for choosing that career, and thank you for being a blessing unto all of us. Well, everyone, any last word, Paula, before we break away?
You know what? I'm just going to say that famous line in the movie, I'll be back. Yes, I look forward to being back.
Yes, you will be back, because you just got started. Just get started. Yep. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Be safe out there. All right, and go get that CD. All right, share it. Love you guys. Love you, Paula. Take care.
Love you too.
Okay.